This video is about how to do more damage in World of Tanks. I'm not going to be talking about actual gameplay. I'm going to be talking about different options within the game that you need to watch out for in order to increase your damage. Over here, it's obviously all the damage, or the majority of the damage, is done using your gun. You can also do it through ramming. I do get ramming damage. If you watch my replays, you'll see that I do get ramming damage in many games. You want to look at the average penetration and the average damage. Together, it creates average damage per minute, but don't assume that the average damage per minute means you're going to do more damage with that gun. Because of the way the game works, it's not necessarily true. So basically, you want to have the highest penetration and you want to have the highest average damage, the best combination of the two. Something like a gun rammer will make you reload faster, which means that you can fire more often and it will increase the amount of damage that you do. And the same is true with vents. It also makes you reload faster. If we look at gun loading, you'll see that I get a 0.15 and a 0.75 bonus for those two pieces of equipment. And I could run directives such as the vent purge, the orderly ammo rack, case of cola, the venting system, innovative loading system, brothers in arms, which is a cruise skill. And I'm going to show you what that does. See, it went down to 6.44. Brothers in Arms gives me 0.17 more in terms of gun loading speed. You also want to make sure your crew is at 100%. So there's other things that indirectly improve damage, such as aim time. And you can improve those also. So there's different types of ammunition. If you use what's called a gold round or a special round, in the game, in the in-game log, it shows up highlighted in yellow. This one will show up highlighted in gray. Basically, if you do more penetration, you're probably going to do more damage in the game, and you could do a lot more damage in the game. It will cost you more money to use this. Most people put the regular rounds first, the higher piercing rounds second, and the high explosive rounds third. There are high explosive rounds that do more damage. If you look over here, you'll see that the first one on the left says 240, the APCR says 240, and the HE says 320. So if you can hit weak armor with the HE round, you can do more damage. It doesn't happen often, but if you get a lucky shot on the rear, or you're just up against a weakly armored tank, or if he's 2 tiers below you, it definitely works. Now be aware that Wargaming has been talking about reducing the amount of damage that gold rounds, special rounds, or premium rounds cause, which means that you might do less damage in the future with this type of a round, which is this one right here. In terms of consumables, the case of cola, the food consumables will help you reload faster and aim faster, so you could argue that it helps you get more damage. And things like a fire extinguisher also helps you indirectly, because by not being on fire, you stay in the game longer. And the same with your large first aid kit, it indirectly helps you because it allows you to keep your crew intact. So the other thing you want to do is you want to get vehicles that have guns that do a lot of penetration. So we're going to go to the tech tree, and I'm just going to pick a random vehicle. You see there's lots of choices for guns. I usually take the highest penetration gun. In this case, we have these two options, and they do the same amount of damage. So go through all the different options. This one does more damage, lower penetration. However, if this is a type of gun that you're going to use if you can fire and hide. You hit them once, do a lot of damage, and you hide, you use that gun. But if you're out in the open and you need to keep firing over and over and over, you're going to need something that has high penetration, less damage per shot. The average damage per minute is 1865, and this one is 3,114. In general, the higher penetrating guns have a higher average damage per minute. Is that, you know what? Scratch it. I don't remember. There's a compensation. No, is it the lower penetrating guns do more damage per minute because they compensate for the lower penetration by doing more damage or something like that? Or it's the ones that do more damage, or the ones that do less average damage have a higher damage per minute than the ones that do more damage. I don't really remember, but there is a general rule you're going to see on a lot of tanks that your DPM is dependent on things like how much damage your gun does, etc. This is a different play style. Not every tank has a high damage gun, such as this one, which is called a derp gun. So you do have to practice, alter your play style, and come up with nice ambush positions, and you'll be able to use that. I'm going to just quickly go through anything here that might help you do more damage. Picking a vehicle that does a lot of damage is going to help you, and I'm going to show you one way you can find out. You go over here to where your vehicles are, and you notice it says average XP, but it doesn't say average damage. But if you look at this particular vehicle, which is a T-57 Heavy, over here it says damage caused to enemy vehicles. This is average, and it says 1634. Go through your vehicles and find one that has a high number, and that's how you do it. And then the vehicle will probably help you. So another example is you go to Hall of Fame and look for ratings by vehicle. And you see I've got some vehicles over here. It says I'm in the top 500, rating position 158. This is by World of Tanks rating, which is a calculation of different factors. However, we can probably pick on a vehicle. I'm going to go back. Let's see if I can find it. This is your service rating. Look for average damage caused per battle. And then do it over the greatest time span. And then over here, you just look and you see that the AMX 50B does much more damage than these other vehicles. So I'm going to see if I can find an all-time. Let's see what happens if I do since December. You can see that these are my top vehicles. Like, for example, the Sentinel, my rating position is number 32. So you just play your best vehicles and you're going to do more damage. These are only the ones that I've played today. So you might have to do a lot of testing in order to see which one gives you the best damage. If I click on this one, for example, and let's say it goes to my rating, where I'm over here, I'm number 140, and then I look for the damage option, which is the little ammo over here. What you really need is something like this, but with all your vehicles. There might be a website where you can sort by that information, but in terms of the in-game interface, right now you have to go through everything individually in order to see what your average damage is. We really need a website that shows all the information. See, like even over here, it doesn't show you your highest damage vehicle, but the information is within your service record. Okay, so that's a little bit about what you can do to improve your damage in regards to what's available within the interface. Having better tactics is out of the scope of this video. If you have any questions or comments, please post below.